Hey there, guys, gals, and non binary pals. This is Princess Shymieras, and just so you know, you are magical in your own special way. We are now on days 2 to 8 for our Steampunktober special. So, this is basically part 2. For day 2, we have the airship captain. Her name is Isabella, or Isa, as she prefers to be called. She's always been on adventures ever since she was in diapers. Isa lost her mother at 16 years old to tuberculosis. While her mom was on her deathbed, she made a promise to her mother to be the airship's best captain. And if you ask the ship's current crew, she kept her promise. Isa is very confident and very hands-on in the ship. The name of the airship is Airship Juliet, which was named after a deceased lover of her great-grandmother on her maternal side. The ship itself was passed down on to the firstborn daughters in the family, which results in Isa getting the ship. So basically, her great-grandmother had it, who gave it to her grandmother, who gave it to her mother, and now the ship is in her hands. My favorite part about this would have to be the way she's posed into this drawing. I really like the way I made her like she was dangling off of the rope thing, and she's like clinging onto another rope while she's looking through a telescope. Another personal favorite of mine would have to be her just looking over the horizon just to find new adventures out there. So who knows where her ship would be along with Airship Juliet. Now we move on to day 3, which happens to be the King of England. His name is actually Joffrey, not like that Joffrey boy in Game of Thrones. In fact, Joffrey never actually wanted to be the ruler of England. He sees his beloved sister to be worthy enough for the throne. But with his parents, favoritism is as favoritism does. Yeah, his parents prefer him over his sister, and even he doesn't know why. Anyways, he prefers to be venturing out into the world, fighting dastardly pirates, discovering new lands, and making new friends. Unfortunately, he can't do that because, well, he's royalty. He plans on running off and leaving the crown to his sister, who he believes is more worthy to rule England. But he has to be very sneaky about it in order to pull it off, and I think pretty sure he has his sister involved in the plan as well. I imagine him being a very Robin Hood-esque character in terms of adventures and making friends. He looks very grumpy in this because he does not, under any circumstances, want to be the King of England. He just doesn't see the appeal of it. To be honest with you, seeing what royalty was like even back in the Victorian times, can you really blame the poor kid? Moving on to day 4 is the Explorer Girl, who I call Nuri. She was raised by her father, who's an archaeologist, after her mother died from childbirth. May she rest in peace. Her father likes to take her out to archaeological digs all over the world, including, but not limited to, Taiwan, Japan, different parts of Afghanistan, Estonia, and her personal favorite place, the Oceania countries, like Australia and the Philippines. She has a natural curiosity for the world and wants to learn everything there is to know, even if it's dangerous to get the knowledge that she desires. Judging by the fact that he's very, well, let me rephrase that. Even though he supports her because of her curiosity, he still is very protective of her and is worried that she might get hurt on her adventures. The culture she's very curious about most would have to be Australia and the other Oceania countries, especially during the prehistoric times. She actually has some traits that are referenced in Penny from Inspector Gadget animated series, as well as Lara Croft from Tomb Raider games and Indiana Jones from the Indiana Jones franchise. And oh my god, her hair was so difficult to do, but I'm really proud of the way I made her hair. Like, it was all cute and poofy. As for a backpack, I kind of was originally going to do like a two-strapped backpack, but I figured doing like one across her body while it's on her back might be better. And just like the TARDIS from Doctor Who, it seems to be bigger on the insides, so she's able to pack whatever she needs in that bag, including but not limited to water bottles, food, and whatever weapons she's able to sneak in there. Now on to day 5. And for day 5 we have the Ace. And that's basically their name. Even though they have a female body, Ace prefers to use they them pronouns, and they're a very jack of all trades, master of none kind of person. At least that's what they claim. Their skills lie within everything that's involved in adventuring. Culinary, wildlife knowledge, airship management, combat, whatever else you can think of. If you have a question, they know the answer. They've always been on adventures since they were 7 years old, which is the age they ran away from home at the time. Why they ran away is particularly unknown, because they constantly keep changing the story, like they were neglected when they were younger, so they decided to run away. A robbery has gone wrong, so they ran off for safety and never looked back. Whatever else you can think of, I like to leave it up for the interpretation of the reader, or whatever theories you guys come up with. What theories do you have for Ace, and why they ran away from home? Be sure to put it down in the comments. But either way, it's best not to talk about their families. And as for the arrow tattoo, they got the arrow tattoo because in their eyes, the only way to move is forward, and that's along with time. They just love to go see what they just go. There's nothing that you can do to stop them. They're just going on. They're actually a part of Isa's airship crew, and their position is her second in command. Just be sure you don't tell Ace what to do, because it's highly likely that they're just going to do the exact opposite of what you want them to do. Don't expect them to be seduced either, because they don't date or fall in love at all. They're more into going on adventures, if that makes sense. Day 6 is the Machine, which is basically a giant robot in reference to films like The Iron Giant and Castle in the Sky, in addition to the animated series Super Robot Monkey Team Hyperforce Go. Someone say that 5 times fast. The robot itself was built by the Green Dragon Corporation for very destructive purposes, but it was thrown away due to its malfunctioning programming. But really, it just acted more human than robotic. Who or what made the destruction program malfunction remains a mystery, even as the Green Dragon Corp doesn't know themselves. And man, the robot was really hard to do, especially with the other arm, because I have been trying so hard to draw it. But I think the reason why it was so hard is because of its very simplistic design for what I was going for. And I was hoping I would get it right, but apparently the hardest designs are sometimes the most simple. I mean, just look at Poof from the Fairly Odd Parents. Yeah, his design is simple, but it's also very hard for the creator to do. Or, so he claimed. But, what can you do? I was actually glad I was able to put it together, though. And on the plus side, I was able to put in some good colors for a sunset, twilight kind of feeling as well. Next up, for day 7, we have the Brawler. The brawler is named Leo, who happens to be a boxing champion, and he has been for about 10 years or so. He's been shown, well, he has a lot of pride for what he does. And he loves to flex his muscles just to get a reaction out of the ladies. But he's not really interested in dating. He's just more focused on his career than anything. But when he's not dominating the ring, he works at a local daycare his mother ran until her death. So he decided to put his career on hold and just run the daycare. The kids at the daycare always get super excited whenever he comes, or whenever he's there, and they all claim that they want to be just like him when they grow up. I honestly think it's kind of cute that kids see someone that they really love and they just tell them they want to be just like them when they grow up. Honestly, if a kid said that to me, I would have been really, really heartworn. My heart, I would just be, it's just so hard to describe. I wouldn't even know how to react. Anyways, back to describing Leo. Well, what happened was Leo was just about to walking to the local daycare to open up one early morning, only to find out it had been burnt down to the ground. Nothing was salvageable. Fortunately, nobody was inside, so I think it was good that there were no casualties whatsoever. But he was pretty upset because whoever burnt down that daycare, they either didn't know or care enough to they, well, basically they just burnt down a daycare his mother built, and the person just didn't seem to care. So he vowed to find the person responsible for burning down the daycare and bring them to justice. In his own way, that is. I mean, he did try to go to the cops at first, but they were not that fucking helpful. Oh, scratch that part. They were not helpful at all, basically, is what I'm trying to say. Finally, for day 8, we have the bearded lady, who goes by Lacey. She was born a normal baby girl, and she grew up pretty poor. But she was pretty happy, and she didn't really care whether or not her family, for the material status. That's the word I was looking for. Anyways, she was a pretty normal girl until she hit puberty. She's been noticing hairs growing on her face, and she was like, well, that's weird. Until she discovered that she was growing a beard. She later found out that she was growing. She had her body has been producing a lot more testosterone than normal for a girl. But she didn't actually see a problem with it. She just had another reason to love. Basically, she didn't see anything wrong with that. She just sees it as her. She didn't really go to school all that much. She just learned from what she learned from other people. And she knows that she couldn't be able to find work, especially with the way she looked. So she decided to go to a local freak show and apply there. And as a result, she became a very popular attraction, and she was okay with that. She was able to show people that no matter your appearance, as long as you feel beautiful, you are. Now, this one was actually a lot of fun to do because I accidentally took the base color for her hair as the shadow, and I didn't realize the mistake until I had looked later. I was like, oh, that's supposed to be for her hair. Yeah, I had a case of the dumb at that moment. Still, I'm actually pretty proud of this bearded lady. I really like the way I posed her, like she was like moving hair away from her face, like her head hair. And I really think the mirror is my favorite part of this one. I think it's like one of her prized possessions that she finally got for herself when she had that job at the freak show. She does end up seeing her family every once in a while, And she would always write to them, just so they know that she really loves them and cares for them very much. Well, that's about all for this week. Next week is going to be coming soon, and hopefully not so mashed together last minute. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching this video, and if you like what you see, hit the thumbs up button, and don't forget to type something sweet in the comments, and don't forget to hit the subscribe button to join my coven. And I can't wait to see you guys next week. Namaste!